Gamers really should grow up, according to this person. Gamers should grow up. Oh hey, a rare instance in which I think both of you are clowns. Gamers are better system-level thinkers than non-gamers. No? Not necessarily. There's really no scientific backing for this argument. While I am educated on information system and I am a gamer, I'm definitely not that smart. Gamers should in fact occupy the government. Okay, now you're just being cringe. Gamers should not occupy the government. They're way too competent at it. How else are we going to misuse taxpayer money to fund the lavish lifestyles of our elected officials? Your average window contact at the lumberyard manages more systems with ease, and there's actual stakes there. I really don't see why either side should be glorified. There are gamers who are talented and non-gamers who are talented. Just because they play video games doesn't mean they are better than everyone else. I did some quick digging, and there are some studies that reveal certain behaviors of gamers that are unique to them compared to non-gamers. For example, this study shows that gamers might have a higher self-efficacy, improved self-regulation, and even enhanced empathy in some cases. There's an article from Activision Blizzard that revealed that gamers are more likely to be early adopters, tech enthusiasts, more persuasive in social circles, and higher research engagement. Some gamers even play a key role in purchasing decisions, and they do engage in online communities. There are plenty of research and articles out there examining the differences between gamers and non-gamers, but they're not enough for me to go, haha, gamers are better than non-gamers. That being said, I highly recommend non-gamers to never ever underestimate what gamers can do. We're not saying we can beat you, but we really do not like losing. Gamers should take more productive hobbies, according to some non-gamers. Put the games away and play guitar or anything. My cousin can play the guitar. He literally works for me in a separate business that I manage. I talk about video games. It's almost like your hobbies do not determine your success or anything. The idea that playing video games in any way increases real-world competencies is the hugest of copes. This one, I actually agree. I think it's best not to overinflate the positive influence of video games as it's not universal from person to person. But I say that mostly because I really want the non-gamers to completely underestimate us. We cannot wait to blindside you later. I am a married father. As a man, you should understand that your only value to the world is what you can provide to other people. I love how you said, as a man, as if women do not bring any values to the world. Also, the way you say this implies that you are worthless if you haven't contributed to the world or other people. We are actually way more connected and in need of each other more than ever. Have you done any transactions in the last couple of hours? Congratulations, you have contributed to the world. Do you have a job? That's even better and a way bigger contribution to the world. It's actually way harder not to contribute something to this world. Your contribution, no matter how small, is still gonna be very valuable to some. This mindset is incredibly reductive and ultimately makes you feel more worthless than you actually are. Playing the guitar counts for something. Playing Fortnite counts for nothing. Here's another funny story for you. My brother plays the guitar. I play games and talk about games. My brother is currently under my employment in the YouTube business. Just saying. All this talk about productivity and contributing to society makes me want to think about the Roman Empire. Hey, I think of it sometimes. People online really loves to bask on the glory days of the Roman Empire for some reason. This meme said that this person is born to lead, go to war, and other stuff that the knights and the aristocracies of the Roman Empire did. But he is unfortunately forced to face the harsh realities of the world that is office works, and that he must deal with Microsoft Office. People pointed out that even in the ancient times, people have used spreadsheets before, and that they look almost the same as how our spreadsheets look today. But what about the Roman Empire specifically? Do they have presentations, spreadsheets, send emails to one another, and do research? Yes, they absolutely do, you pretentious, uncultured swine. If anything, the Roman Empire has loads of bureaucracies, paperworks, presentations, and most definitely research works that you're definitely not gonna see prominently on the Total War games. Oh wait, yes you do. You're the ones doing them all. Some even say that the bureaucracy is so overabundant that it actually contributes to the decline decline of the Roman Empire, because the bureaucrats were excessively draining public resources way more than the public actually consumes them. Basically, the people running the country are taking too much taxpayer money. It's not that different to current year government, actually. Especially mine. If you really want to bask in the glory of the Roman soldiers, thankfully there is a modern equivalent for you, and that is the military. We got plenty more gaming and other interesting hooplas, so if you like this video so far, don't forget to click the like button, comment, subscribe, and leave some tips through any of these means, including YouTube membership, links below. Thank you to all the sponsors this week, you're all fantastic. Man, this thread is full of absolute clowns. When a first-party single-player PlayStation game comes to Xbox, the console war is officially over! No, the console war is not over just because PlayStation released the game on the Xbox. In fact, the console war will never be over, as long as the fanboys of each consoles keep on fighting on the internet. The desperation of this fraud, by his logic, there should be no war, as Xbox has already lost. Well, there really shouldn't be any war, and all the console gamers really should have gone along with each other. But I do think that Xbox has already lost. They have lost since the Xbox One days. They hate that Xbox keeps putting so many games on PlayStation. Yeah, I too remember the Forza Horizon 5 Salt. Oh wait, most of those salts are actually made up by PlayStation fanboys. One was even AI generated. Xbox fans have pretty much given up, the same way Microsoft has given up on the whole platform. So it's really up to the PlayStation gamers to make up enemies as they go along. The real winner of the console war, PC Master Race. I would really love to say that, but that would imply that PCs are consoles. The real war is still between Xbox and PlayStation, with Nintendo doing their own thing on their own market with their own fan base, with basically no competition whatsoever other than the pirates, I guess, and the people that dare to use their games for charity. PC Master Race is being taken over by Xbox. No, the PC Master Race has not been taken over by Xbox. If anything, it's the other way around. You already lost Poland, Asus ROG ally. How many more PC gaming device will also be called an Xbox? No, there will be no PC gaming device that will be called an Xbox. I'm definitely not gonna call my laptops Xbox anytime soon. Also, we do not lose the Asus ROG Ally to Xbox. You lost the Xbox to the PC, as the Asus ROG Ally still uses Windows 11 for their operating system, which means that it can technically be used as a PC, if one so desire. Your PC's an Xbox, bitch. Deal with it. Oh yeah, we are totally dealing with Xbox being the PC's bitch. Or is it the other way around? I really couldn't tell. The console war will definitely not be over, especially when people make takes like this in gaming. This is a garbage take on the surface, but I actually ended up agreeing with it in a very different way. If you can't afford an $80 game, then you shouldn't play it. You know, this hot take is definitely causing some ire, but I actually do agree with this in a very different way. I do agree that if you cannot afford $80 games, then you shouldn't play it. Not because you are not entitled to the game or the game being cheaper, but because no game is ever going to worth $80 to any reasonable person. Gaming is a privilege, not a right. I also agree with this one. I am glad that you think that gaming is a privilege and not a right. You know what else is a privilege and not a right? My money! Nintendo treats their employees well. As far as we know, yes. We don't really get a lot of reports from the insides of Nintendo, but while the company loves to mistreat their customers, they at least treat their workers right. If you're not willing to fork over $20 extra in cash to support that, then you don't care about game developers. You are correct. I do not care about game developers. I said this many times already. It is not the consumer's responsibility to care for the game developers. It is the responsibility of the game companies that employed them. It's been 34 days since the last layoff by the time of this video. The latest victim was Supermassive Games. Or perpetrator, depending on how you see it. The developers of those interactive horror games like Until Dawn or The Quarry. If the games do not sell or the developers are being laid off and you decided to blame the gamers for them, congratulations, you are an average Kitchen Nightmares restaurant owner.
What's wrong with the place?
Lack of customers.
So why have we got lacking customers?
We need more customers. We need to figure out how to get more people in.
This tweet does get me thinking. Exclusivity has long been the driver for increased competition between platforms, galvanizing all parties to compete on several levels. I was about to disagree with this statement. Until I gave it some thought. And then I realized something. Neither the PlayStation nor the Xbox really want to compete on the exclusive games anymore. Yes, some PS5 exclusives are excellent, but they're not as good as the PS4s and definitely not as good as the PS3s. In fact, Demon's Souls was a PS3 exclusive too. But the thing is, they don't need to be good, they just need to be there. In the console exclusives war, PlayStation came in barely prepared and they still win against Xbox, who might as well not even dare. Nintendo doesn't try to compete against both of them either. They have exclusives for sure, but they're doing their own thing. They're basically their own market. No one is competing against them or even dare to compete against them. That's why they can get away with making exclusives that aren't super amazing. All I'm saying is, this statement would have been true if PlayStation or Xbox actually competes with exclusives, but they don't now. While they still do offer exclusives, there's no sense of them doing it to compete against one another. They're not doing it to sell the consoles anymore. They're doing it because they've been doing it for a while, so why not keep on doing it, right? In the short term, more gamers get access to more titles, but it's not a coincidence that the AAA space is so flaccid right now. I do agree that the AAA gaming space is pretty flaccid as of late, although Battlefield 6 was apparently decent, and I do think that the lack of competition or the willingness to compete in the exclusivity market contribute a great deal to why the games aren't as good these days. But I think it's less about the exclusivity and more about the lack of willingness from any of these big console manufacturers to actually compete against one another. There's no air of competition that I am sensing, not just in exclusives, but also in general. They're not interested in trying to make better products than what the competition was offering. They're only interested in surviving with the products that they have and the IPs that they own, even if it's at the cost of many talented workers. It's almost like they're in life support. Honestly, it's just a sad situation all around, but it's not all doom and gloom because I do think that there are plenty of game developers out there who are willing to pick up the slack and actually make amazing games, while the console manufacturers go through the motions practically half asleep. And that's all for the video today. Here's a cat. Don't forget to check out my previous videos here, click the like button, comment, subscribe, leave some tips, just $1 down below, and thanks for watching.